All right, so for this game, looks like we have what is mostly just a standard kind of sequencing game. So we've got 6 days, Monday through Saturday, so we'll set it up accordingly. But they do throw a bit of a curveball in that the Saturday apparently can have 2 people there, so we can set up 2 spaces on the Saturday. Otherwise, all of the other days are just going to have 1 person. Now, the people themselves, the librarians, are FGH, KLMZ, and it's worth noting that there are, in fact, 7 of them, which lines up with the idea that we have 6 days, but then 1 extra person on the Saturday. Now from there, I guess let's take a look at the rules. So the first rule tells us that H has to go before L, so we can line that up accordingly. Next, we're told that H and M have to go earlier than G. So we already have an H over here, so let's connect it in. We can say H and M, both of these guys, are going to be before G. Next, F has to go before both K and M. And again, we have an M on the board already, so let's take advantage of that. So F has to go before M and before K. Next, K has to go before Z, so that lines up. And lastly, we are told that unless L is on Saturday, then we have to have L before F. Now remember, for these kind of rules where, first of all, unless we can just replace that with if not. So what this is saying that is that if we don't have L on Saturday, then we'll have to have L before F. And remember, these kinds of rules should always kind of stick out. Anytime you have a pattern of if this doesn't happen, then something else will, what you're basically saying is that of those 2 things, at least one of them will have to happen. In other words, what this is saying is that either we're going to have L on Saturday, or alternatively, we'll have to have L before F. Except, wait a minute. L before F, that's kind of a big deal. If we trigger that, then this L is going to go before this F, which is also going to be before all of this stuff. And alternatively, L is on Saturday, which would just be kind of nice. So, you know what, let's actually run both possibilities. In fact, it's probably worth exhausting it. But essentially, we can say that if we don't have L on Saturday, then what we will have to have is L before F, and we can connect in all of these other guys. H will have to go before these guys. F still has to go before M and K, and then M is before G, and K is before Z. This lines up quite nicely. In fact, you'll notice that in this scenario, H, L, and F will have to be the first 3 elements in sequence. That's rather powerful. So you know what, we'll do that. We'll exhaust this into 2 major plays. Either we're going to have L on Saturday, or we're going to have this whole thing happening. So in one scenario, we have L there. In the second scenario, as we said, H, L, and F will have to go into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then from there, actually, I suppose, check this out. We know that G and Z are the only ones that can go last, right? We've accounted for everybody. So they will have to effectively go last. So we'll have to, because just to be clear, the rules say that, for example, M is on a day earlier in the week than Gomez. So earlier in the week means that they can't both be on the same day. So yeah, G and Z will have to both go on the Saturday, and then M and K are just going to flip between Thursday, Friday. Now in the top scenario, if L is on Saturday, I guess we're still working by this. Now L is obviously resolved. Well, I guess one thing we can do is that L is going to have to be with one of these 2. G and Z are the only other people that can go on Saturday, so we can reserve this space for one of G or Z. I suppose it's also worth noting that the first position has to be one of these 2 guys, so one of F or H will have to go into Monday. But otherwise, everything else is kind of flexible. So you know what? Let's run with this. The questions themselves, we have question number 12, which is our standard exclusion question. So let's go. First rule was that H has to go before L. Answer choice A has H before L, B has H before L, C, D, E does not. E has L before H. We can get rid of that. Next, H and M are both before G, so G has to go after both H and M. So A looks good, B looks good. Answer choice C, we have G before, actually no, after H and M, we're good. Answer choice D has G after both. I think we're good. So I guess let's keep going. Next, F has to be earlier than both K and M. So A and B look fine. C does not. We have F after K and M, so we can get rid of C. And D has F before K and M. Yeah, we're good. Next, K is before Z. Let's take a look. Answer choice A, we have K before Z, B, K before Z, and D, we have K last. That doesn't work, so D is out. And lastly, we basically said that either we have to have L Saturday or alternatively, L before F. So answer choice A has L Saturday, so we're good. Answer choice B, so here you'll notice that we don't have L on Saturday, but L is also not before F, so we can get rid of answer choice B, and that leaves us with answer choice A as the best answer for question number 12. And as usual, I suppose we'll plug that in. So we basically have FHMK followed by Z, G, and L. And yeah, G and L are on the same day. Cool, let's go. First local question we have is number 14. Let's take a look. So if we have K earlier than M, oh boy, so let's see what we can do with that. If we have K before M, what does that tell us? Well, I suppose that's arguably consistent with both of these, right? Because here we can have K before M, and originally, obviously, if L is on Saturday, we could have had K before M. You know, let's just quickly plug in everything else that we would know from here. So if K is before M, M is still before G, K is still before Z, F is still before K, and then everything else is a bit more, I guess we know that H is before G and before L. So everything else is still kind of flexible. Let's see, maybe this is enough information. The question asks what cannot be true. A, F before L, and no, I don't think we know that one way or the other because F and L don't have a direct connection. You have to zigzag to get from one to the other. Answer choice B, G is earlier than K, and no, that's definitely not happening. G is definitely going to be after K. There it is. Best answer for question number 14 is B. Next, question number 15. If Z is on Thursday, so we haven't used this scenario, let's just use it now. So if we have the Z on the Thursday, what does that effectively tell us? Well, I suppose you'll notice that this template no longer works, right? In fact, we have it right here that Z can't be on the Saturday, so we're in the top template, which means that we're going to have L on the Saturday with G for sure. Anything else we can do? Now, before the Z, we still have to accommodate K and F. And I suppose one question, I guess Friday, we could still have an H here or an M. So you know what? It seems like we're a little bit flexible. Let's see what we can do. The question itself asks what must be true. F before L? Actually, yeah, that easily has to be true, doesn't it? Because we know that L is on the Saturday, so F would definitely have to go before L. The best answer to question number 15 is A. Just in case, so let's take a look at the rest. H is before F, and we don't quite know that. These guys can still flip in the first position. Answer choice C, H is before M, and these guys also, yeah, they don't have a direct relationship because we could have H in Friday, and that would have been fine, so that doesn't have to be true. Answer choice D, H is earlier than Z, and no, we just said H could have also gone Friday, so that doesn't have to be true. K is earlier than M, and no, these guys don't have a direct relationship. You could have had, for example, F, M, and K in Wednesday, and that would have been fine. So that doesn't have to be the case. Best answer, once again, is A. Next, question number 16. If M is on Tuesday, well, let's see what we can do with that. So if we have M on Tuesday, what does that tell us? Well, right away, we obviously know that, well, actually, I guess we are not in this template anymore, are we? So that means that we are in the top template. So L is going to be over here with one of G or Z, as per usual. And before the M, we always have to have F. So F gets locked into the Monday. So that takes care of that. Now, beyond that, I feel like we're pretty flexible still. Yeah, I'm not sure we can do much more because K and H, for example, have fairly little restriction on the earlier side of the board. Let's see what we can do. Maybe this is enough. The question asks what must be true. Answer choice A. H is on Thursday. We don't know that. K is on Thursday. We don't know that. L is on Saturday. Yeah, there it is. L would have to be on the Saturday. Best answer to question number 16 is C. Onwards. Actually, let's just double check answer choices D and E. Z's on Friday, and that doesn't have to be true. And Z is on Saturday. Again, it could, but it doesn't have to be true. So yeah, best answer was C. Next, question number 17. If F is earlier than H, well, if we happen to have F before H, I suppose the question becomes, what does that tell us? Well, right away, again, we are not in this template, right? Because here F would have had to go after the H. So right away, we know that it's going to be the top template. So we're going to have L here with one of G or Z. Moreover, since the first position has to be one of F or H, and it's definitely going to be F on the Monday. Now, beyond that, though, I'm not sure we can do much more because everybody else is kind of flexible, aren't they? M and K relative to H can do whatever. H can just go anywhere between Tuesday through Friday. So it's pretty open. But again, maybe this is enough. The question asks what must be true. Answer choice A, H is earlier than K. And no, I'm not sure we can lock down a relationship between H and K. So A seems out. B, H is earlier than Z. And again, I'm not sure that it is. In fact, couldn't we just run F, K, and Z in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? That would take care of that. And then this would just be a G, which seems okay. Answer choice C. K is earlier than M. Again, K and M don't have a direct relationship, so I'm not sure why that would have to be true. Answer choice D. M is earlier than L. Oh, yeah, there it is. So a lot seems to hinge on the idea that L ends up on Saturday. And yeah, M would have to be earlier than L because everybody, except for this person, whoever it is going to be earlier than L. So the best answer to question number 17 is D. Just in case, though, answer choice E, M is earlier than Z. And no, we could, for example, as we said, hypothetically run F, K, Z, and that would have been completely okay. So once again, the best answer here would have been D. Next. So number 18 is one of our standard modifiers. We'll come back to this one in a second. Let's take a look at question number 13. Which of the following cannot be on Tuesday? Well, let's just run history. We know that in this template, L's been on Tuesday, and we could have had H and M on Tuesday as well. So that would get rid of answer choices B and D. And now we're just down to F, K, Z. So for Tuesday, I mean, F seems like a pretty safe bet that it could, right? As long as you run H in number 1, F seems like easily it could go into number 2. What about K? Could we have K on Tuesday? And again, that seems fairly safe. In fact, we kind of mentioned in this scenario, we could have run F, K, Z. That also seems relatively safe. Could we run Z on Tuesday? Oh, no, that's definitely not happening. Z has to go after K and F. So best answer here is answer choice E for question number 13. Next, number 18. Which of the following, if we subbed it in for the rule that F is before K and M? So we're trying to replace this guy right here, that F is before M and K. So the question is, what is going to have the exact same impact on the game? And just as a reminder, remember, in these situations, we are looking for 2 parameters. We're looking for an answer choice that always had to be true and something that will ensure that this thing will happen, that F will always be before both M and K. Let's take a look. Answer choice A, F cannot be on Thursday. Now, that's probably true because there's a whole bunch of people that had to go after M. Yeah, 4 people had to go after F rather. And if you put F on Thursday, there's no way to fit them all. So sure, this had to be true. But the real question is, does that really do all that much? Because even if we say that F can't go on Thursday, does that ensure that it's going to go before all of these people? Couldn't you still, for example, have F on the Friday or even Saturday, right? Because if you didn't have this rule initially and you simply said that F can't go on Thursday, it would easily allow F to go almost anywhere else. So answer choice A doesn't seem nearly enough to do something for us. Answer choice B. only F and H can be on Monday. Now, this is kind of tempting because, again, that's true. F and H were the only people that had no left-hand side restrictions, right? So they're the only ones that could have gone Monday. But the thing is, again, the real question is, does this get the job done? If we say that F and H are the only people that can go Monday, does that ensure that F's going to go before M and K? Well, if F is first, sure. But this easily allows for H to be on Monday. And if H was on Monday, this rule doesn't restrict F any further. It would allow F to do, again, whatever it wants. It could go as late as Friday, even Saturday. So this, again, it wouldn't be enough to ensure that F's going to end up before M and K. Answer choice C. Only H and L can go earlier than F. Ooh, this is promising. So one thing is, it definitely gets the job done. Because if you say that H and L are the only people that can go before F, well, that means that everybody else, including M and K, would have to go after F. So this gets the job done. It ensures that F is definitely going to end up before M and K. But the real question now becomes, did that have to be true? Because we can't take a rule that would over-restrict the game, a rule that goes too far. But conveniently, you'll notice that it did have to be true, because if you look at all the other elements, H and L are genuinely the only ones that could have pulled ahead of F. Everybody else, M, K, G, and Z, all of the other guys had to go after F. So it is actually true that H and L were the only people that could have gone before F. So answer choice C works on both counts. It would ensure that M and K will go after F, and it conveniently always had to be true. Best answer for question number 18 is C. Just in case, let's take a look at the rest. Answer choice D. F has to be earlier than both G and K. Now, these kind of answer choices are always kind of tempting because you'll notice that, yeah, F had to go before G and F had to go before K. So that definitely had to be true. And it ensures that F is before K. And it almost seems like if you're saying that F is before G and we know that M was before G, then it would seem almost as if F has to go before M. But that's not true. The rule that we initially had is essentially that M had to go before G. If we implement a rule that says that F has to go before G, that doesn't tell you anything about its relationship to M. That would allow for F to go before G this way, and then M and F could still go either way. This would not be enough to ensure that F is actually before the M. So this doesn't get the job done. D is out. Next, answer choice E. F has to go earlier than both M and Z. Same thing. By saying that F is ahead of Z, I mean, yeah, that had to be true, but that wouldn't tell you where it goes relative to the K, right? Saying that F is before Z, and we know that K was before Z, F and K could still go either way. So again, this wouldn't have been enough. The best answer here, once again, is answer choice C.